Loops and lists work so well together that it's almost impossible to talk about one without the other. Let's talk about how to use a list to get values from the user and add them to a list. In this code, I create an empty list of clients and then use a for loop to iterate through them to display each one. In a moment, we'll add code to add items to the list. Loops are often used to iterate through a list to display or do something else for each item. We can also use a loop to ask the user for clients and add them to the list. In this case, I could keep asking them for clients as long as or while they do not type the word quit. So we're going to add the code to do that. So let's add the code to do this. We'll start with a new client variable and set it equal to empty quotes. Next, we'll create our while loop. We want our while loop to check if the new client is equal to quit so that it can stop the loop. So we'll put, while new client is not equal to quit, and then we'll ask the user for the new client name. We'll use input to get that information. And then we'll append it to the client's list using the append method and appending the new client that we just got from the user. So let's run this and we'll add some clients to our list. We'll start with John, then Mary, now Peter. And that's all we want to add, so I can type quit now. And then our for loop went ahead and printed each of our clients out, but it also printed out the quit. So how can we use quit to stop the loop, but not put it into the list? Well, we can also use an if statement. If I add if new client is not equal to quit, and then put my clients.append inside of that if statement, it won't append quit if that's what the new client holds. So let's run that using the debugger and see if it works. Okay. Here we are at the top of our code. Clients is empty. And now we're going to step through the code and our while loop begins. And first it's going to check to see if new client is equal to quit. It isn't, so it steps into the while loop code block. Now it's going to execute this next line and ask for the next new client. So we can put in John. Now our if statement is going to check whether new client is quit or not. If it's not equal to quit, it'll append new client to our clients list. Let's see what happens. It wasn't quit, so this statement was true, and now it will append. Notice clients now has John in it in the debugger. We can see it added right there. And as we step through, each time we add something to our list, we can watch it get updated in the debugger. Mary got added to our clients list. And finally, when we add Peter, Peter's going to get added to the list. Right there. And last of all, we need to tell it to quit. Watch and see whether it gets added to the list. No client named quit. Let's keep going and print them out just to make sure. John, Mary, Peter, and our code is done. So as you can see, both for loops and while loops can be helpful in working with a list. We use a for loop when we iterate through each item in an existing list, and we use a while loop when we don't know how many times to repeat, but we want to continue until something specific happens.